Hello and welcome to the morning show, team off with RevSportz. Very good morning to all of you present. Good morning, Bharat, for joining the show. Yesterday, the late night, Sevilla won the Europa League seventh time, defeating Roma. It went down all the way down to the penalties, and Sevilla won it. And in Indian sports, the Indian shuttlers are playing the Thailand Open. Has not been a very great day for India yesterday. Uh, PV Sindhu, Kidambi Srikanth lost in the round of 32 only, but Kiran George upturned a massive upset, defeating the ranked number 9, world number 9. So it was fantastic, and today they will be playing. Bharat, what are your thoughts on PV Sindhu's recent performances? She has, after that injury, she has not. She has been looking to get back to form, but the last one also in the Malaysia Open, she was the runners-up, but this time she lost in the round of 32 only. So what's happening wrong with PV Sindhu according to you?
Yeah, perhaps you can do a small Google search. If you do a Google search and write PV Sindhu, you will get a you will read a lot of PV Sindhu's game. Like every single page you see error prone match, Sindhu loses, error prone match, Sindhu loses. So she's making a lot of errors, I guess, especially with her smashes. She's at her best when
Hmm.
she gets her smashes right. Stall girl. Other opponents also would study you. They would bring you to the net. Obviously, Tai Suing has been doing that for long with her, but other players are also doing it. And Young has been really troubling her. I'm talking about the top players against top players,
Hmm.
not just those who are mid-ranked players, but she's been troubled by a lot of players. And obviously, she's coming back from an injury, so her rhythm also is not good. So I guess it's a combination of things: returning from injury, rhythm not being good, opponents also studying her game a lot. So that's why they're bringing her a
And
lot
the
more to
coach
the net.
factor is also there, no? She,
Sorry,
the coach factor, Sindhu and coach.
yeah, coach factor is there, but yeah, said the coach factor will always be there. But as I said, you have to also think that as you play for longer,
Hmm.
opponents will start studying you, and you have to keep
Hmm.
finding ways to improve. For example, I will give again example of ancient. If you notice her game, seems to have the spontaneity of TTY, and she seems to have the endurance of someone like Akin. So
Hmm.
she's worked on her game over a period of time, and that's why she's where she is currently. So I'm not trying to go after Sindhu, but this is the period of time where I guess she has to again do some incremental improvements in her game, or try to obviously get back with rhythm. Yeah. Her main strength is her smash. So
Hmm.
when she gets it right, tall girl, she can just pulverize the opponent. But obviously, other opponents also have studied, and as I said, coach factor is also there.
And her cross court reaches are also a bit problem, as I was saying, which was her strength because she's a tall athlete. She reaches well, but that has also been some problem. Coming to Lakshya Sen, we were talking yesterday also about Lakshya Sen that this competition is important for him because he's also trying to get back to form after that All England victory, Commonwealth. He has won yesterday, and today he'll be playing against Lee, who is a higher ranked opponent again. So, your thoughts on Lakshya Sen?
See, Lakshya Sen at his best, I think he's perhaps has the skills to become the number one. That is when he's at his best, absolute best. I'm not
Mm,
talking about the Lakshya Sen the last some months, but if he
mm,
reaches that level, I think he can do that because he's very good at entrance. I've seen that his fitness, the stamina is very good. It's not just about his
mm.
shots. He can be in the rally for long periods and win those long rallies. So yeah, hopefully we'll return to somewhere his best. I know it's going to be a tough match today, so hopefully if he finds his best form, I think he can win. But yeah, he has to find his best rhythm.
Exactly. So, I'll just run through the matches for today in the round of 16. Kiran George versus Wing of China, and Kiran George has uh, who is currently ranked 59 in the BWF rankings, defeated number 9 in yesterday in the round of 32, and that was a massive upset. And Laksa Sen versus Lee of China, Ashmita Chaliha versus Carolina Marin, and that's I would say a bit unlucky for Ashmita. Marin is a top ranked number 6 in the BWF ranking and will be uh, probably 80-20 for Ashmita to go forward. Saina Nehwal versus he of China, and Satvik Chirag will play the Indonesian pair Maulana and Fikri. So your thoughts? Who do you see going forward to the quarterfinals?
Obviously, Saina also tough match. Obviously, so obviously not at her
Hmm.
best now, ranked number 30, 32. Returned
Hmm.
from an injury as well, I guess, last year. So, but I watched her first round game a little bit. She looked in decent touch, but he is going to be tough. I guess number 5 or number 6 ranked player,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in the top 10 definitely. And has also won bronze medals at world championships and also it's going to be tough for her. He's defeated her somewhere in the past, but this is 2023 now different.
Hmm.
Hopefully, she can find her best form. Maybe she has some, she has a slim chance, but it's going to be tough. George, obviously, as you said, he created an upset, but causing an upset once is great, but after that, it's to keep up that momentum. That is where
Hmm.
he will be really tested. Uh, I've seen in not just in badminton, across tournaments, tennis, and all these
Hmm.
individual sports, those who cause an upset after that second round or next round, they
Hmm.
tend to lose out. Let's see, hope for the best within. And obviously, doubles is
Exactly.
also there.
Exactly. And Satvik Chirag is always a point to watch whenever they are playing. Currently, they're one of the best in the world, I would say.
Yes.
And as you mentioned about upsets, I remember one from Priyanshu Rajawat in the Orleans Masters where he won his first BWF World Tour. He defeated Kenta Nishimoto of Japan, top seeded player, and Priyanshu pulled up a massive upset and went to win the titles, and that was fantastic. We had a exclusive interview also with Priyanshu in our channel, and let's hope for the best. Let's see how who gets the better of the opponents, because all the opponents today are seeded higher than the Indian shuttlers. So whatever wins happens will be an upset. So some are big and some are small. So okay, let's move on to WTC. The much anticipated, the much awaited WTC after two long T20 seasons, 2 long months of T20 seasons. So Bharat, the first question on WTC will be, how difficult will it be for the likes of Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill, who have been playing 2 months of T20 cricket, hitting every ball possible? How important will it be for them to leave the ball? Because in Test cricket, it's important to leave the ball, and especially if the India bats first, the first few hours in oval. What do you think of that?
Yes, obviously. It's not just about leaving the ball, it's about playing the line, playing close to the
Hmm.
body. Sometimes don't
Hmm.
need to offer a lifted bat, to just keep the bat inside the line so that the ball nips away and beats.
Hmm.
It feels like it has beaten the bat, but basically the batter would be playing the line, which Rohit Sharma obviously did incredibly well in the even KL Rahul as well in the 2021 series against
Hmm.
England, especially against Jimmy Anderson. So much so that he had to change his plan for that Leeds test and he had to bring in the hybrid bubble, not his Leeds. Not the Leeds test, yeah, 10 bridge test. He had to bring the hybrid bubble, which again used it in the
Hmm.
Leeds test, where he used to keep the shine on the left so that the batter would feel it's an in swinger and then use the bubble. So yeah, it's Rohit Sharma and KL Rahul in that series did really well. But again, they had the practice of playing that way. They had practiced a lot, taken a lot of drills, done a lot of drills of playing close to the body.
Hmm.
Rohit Sharma himself had said then that he really felt pain in his wrist, in his hands, because he tried so much to play so much in the practice sessions to play close to the body. It's going to be tough, not just for the batters to adjust to different style of cricket, It's also for in relation to the bowlers. If you know, in the Southampton Test, 2021, the World Test Championship final,
Hmm.
New Zealand, India had scored some 212 whatever. New Zealand raced over 200 for zero. Many said
Hmm.
it's because the conditions, change the conditions. I don't think that was the case. It was still cloudy. I guess it was due to the fact that the Indian seamers bowled a touch shorter early on. Again, they were playing the IPL, the truncated IPL, 2021 IPL, and you could see Bumrah and Shami bowled defensive length. So it's imperative that India adjust to a different format of cricket quickly and do it well. Otherwise, it's not going to be easy.
Exactly. And your thoughts on Chetashwar Pujara, because he is the only one in this team not to play in the IPL, and he has been playing in county for so long in England. How important will it be? Will he be the X factor for Indian batters? What do you think?
It could be he has had some success against Australia, but obviously in Australian conditions, this is going to be
Hmm.
different. And on the other side, some teams have found flaws in his batting, especially against the moving ball, New Zealand and England,
Hmm.
by nipping it back with his one stride front foot movement. He has been getting into some problems. Nip back has bowled and LBW. So interesting to see how he goes. County cricket obviously might help. Even though it was Division 2, but still runs are runs, and you have acclimatized to the conditions there. Again, Hove
Hmm.
and Oval would be different. That I have to say because Hove pitches, whatever I've seen, the pitches at Hove in Sussex, they're slow seeming
Hmm.
pitches, and at Oval you would get a little more bounce. So, but again, still he would have sort of acclimatized to the conditions. That should help him. Interesting to see how he goes because he has had a few issues, with the moving ball, nipping it back.
Hmm.
So let's see how what Australia will pick, which players they will pick. So, someone like Scott Boland, if they pick Scott Boland, the way he nips it back from a good length, that could be an interesting battle. Pujara versus Boland.
Hmm. Okay. And before we come to the next question, for our viewers, these are visuals sent to us by Vijit Deshmukh, who is our correspondent from England, and he will be joining Boryada in the WTC final coverage, and it's lovely to see England visuals. And another one, Bharat Ajinkya Rahan, thoughts on Ajinkya Rahane's comeback, and he has uh, been in the team, gone out, and again made a comeback, had a good IPL season. So, how do you see Ajinkya Rahane in the final?
A younger player who has had some success against Australia over a period of time.
Hmm.
A bit, again, intermittent basis, some failures, but that MCG 100, and obviously he's captained the side as well. To series wins against Australia here and there. So you should be confident. This it matters. You might say there's nothing big in it, but it matters when you know you have found some success against a certain opponent. You go in with a little bit of confidence. So obviously he's made a comeback here. There have been some critics or told that he's made a comeback on the basis of more of IPL matches, although he did score a big 100 in Sasa. Not exactly the best of sides in Ranji, but still runs are runs. But
Hmm.
against Australia, I feel he might do reasonably well because it's a team that against whom has had some success. When it comes to England, in England has really struggled, like, especially against
Hmm.
one certain bowler has gone right inside his head. I don't need to name him. The 40-year-old has gone right inside his head. He's not going to
Hmm.
play against him on 7. So when you think of those things, I have got feeling he might do decently well.
Okay. Before we end the WTC discussion, Bharat, one final question, and it has been going on in the social media, in the media, in the team also. I reckon, because who might India go, the bowling combination that India team management might go into the match, whether they will go for one spinner or two spinner. Because if you see Ravindra Jadeja, Ravi Ashwin, Akshar Patel, these all are batting options also, who can come in handy. What do you think India should do? Because
See, there are
typically,
two
if you
ways to look at it.
see, yeah,
Two
go
ways
on.
to look at it. See, English conditions, sitting here on 1st June, it's very tough to tell because English
Hmm.
conditions can change. there could be some moisture on day one. There could be a little bit of grass left. One of the toughest things to do is talk about English conditions. We can talk about Australian conditions or Indian conditions, but
Hmm.
it's a bit tough. I understand all conditions will get a little more bounce. It should be decent for batting, but still expect something on day one. Uh, just my opinion, humble opinion is I always like to go in with four pace bowlers in Sena, South Africa, England, New Zealand,
Hmm.
Australia. I'm not saying in every match because I feel it's easier to control with four pace bowlers. That's something Virat Kohli also seemed to believe in. But I understand that Oval, a little bit of assistance for spinners, as you said, they're all batting options as well. Jadeja, Akshar, Ashwin.
Hmm.
I consider all these things. India might be tempted to play two spinners, but it's still a gamble in the sense that India then have to win the toss and bat first. If India lose the
Hmm.
toss, Australia batting first, then spinners might not. If you have two spinners, then if there is a little bit of grass up front, then spinners might not really come into the game. In Australia, if they score
Hmm.
400 plus from there, they're on top. So if you're picking two spinners, especially in ACNA, then you're definitely going in with a bit of gamble because you are hoping that you will win the toss.
Uh, so that's a big bit of gamble and quite headache for the team management also to find the exact perfect combination because you don't have an impact player here in WTC final. So before we before we end the show, Bharat, does I'll be honest because I am not getting to follow much of French Open. So please give me a sense of French Open, your favorite moments that has been going in the last few days, and before we end the show.
French Open, see, as we know, I tweeted that Medvedev has
Uh,
gone down. He had gone into this tournament on the back of Rome Masters. I understand Medvedev uh, is not exactly known as a clay court player, but he had a good form. He was in good form, having won the Rome Masters, but he's gone, lost to Wild, who's ranked 172. If you ask me, if I'm honest, even I don't know much about this Wild, ranked 172, but he took out Medvedev. Others, women's singles, obviously, Swiatek, Rybakina, Sabalenka, all are through. There have been some upsets, somewhat lower seeds. Like
hmm,
I saw Kivito was out. Obviously, she's not a clay court specialist, not in good form either. One more is Svitolina is doing well. Monfils is partner, and she obviously she had a baby. I guess last year, and she had suddenly gone down in the ranking outside of 1,000, but she's back. She's gone into third round, I guess. Men's
hmm,
singles again, Alcaraz looked in great form yesterday. Last
hmm,
little bit of match against Daniel was there. Obviously, Djokovic won against Fuchs. I hope I got his spelling right. Interesting match this was because Fuchs had said some interesting things about Djokovic during the 2022 Australian Open when he had not taken vaccine and whatever controversy had happened.
hmm,
And from what I know, Mr. Djokovic, if you criticize him, he does remember it for long. First set he was trailing 2-5, went on to win 7-6, then absolutely crushed him. That you expected because you would have remembered what this man said 1.5 years ago. So Djokovic obviously has had an injury or two recently, hamstring, elbow. But
hmm.
with Djokovic, when he says I'm injured, I don't know. I'm not saying I don't want to use that word, but when he's playing, it doesn't seem like he's injured. Whatever it is, magic or whatever. But he says he's a small injury or two, but not sure. I would like to comment on it. But yeah, with best of five sets, it's going to be cracker if Djokovic plays. No, I'm not used any words for him. Fake or something. I've not used any words. Just said I can't comment on his injuries. But Djokovic
Hmm.
versus Alcaraz in the semi-finals, if it happens, then it's going to be cracker because I think
Definitely.
Alcaraz is
Yeah.
in better form than Djokovic. But best of five can't rule out Djokovic. Others are there. Casper Ruud is there. Casper
Hmm.
Ruud is someone who's good play, good player, reached a couple of Grand Slam finals, but there's a feeling that when he plays against high ranked players, someone who's number one, second seed, or third seed is fourth seed here, not exactly good at it, not exactly good at playing these top players. handicaps. As expected, he got crushed by Nadal last year at the French Open. Rune is also there. He's a pretty good clay court player. So interesting to see how this goes. Though Alcaraz looks like the favorite. In women's singles, it's right. It's difficult to say. Maybe Swiatek is the favorite, but
I
anyone.
remember watching Swiatek in the US Open where she won it.
Sorry.
I remember watching Swiatek in the US Open.
Yeah, Swiatek is perhaps the favorite, but in women's singles, you
Hmm.
never know. Like
Hmm.
in 2021, Krejcikova won, and 2023 he's out in the first round. So
Hmm.
in women's singles these days, there's no one who's really dominating. Maybe a little bit of Swiatek. It's not like
Hmm.
80s, 90s, or even 2000s when you had Navratilova or the Chris Evans
Hmm.
or Steffi Graf, Monica Seles. Then obviously Monica Seles had that unfortunate stabbing incident. Then Williams sisters, Martin Hingis, Davenport, and all these girls dominating for a while. But these days, that's not how it is. Actually, Bartia has also retired. So, let's see, Swiatek looks like the favorite, but in one singles is difficult to predict.
Okay. And as you talk about the upsets, we hope Indian
One more,
shuttlers pull
one
off
more, one
some.
more. Just one more.
Yeah.
Djokovic's next match is I see it is Fokina. This all just before coming here I saw, and this
Okay.
Fokina is the one who defeated Djokovic at Monte Carlo Masters. Again, best of three sets. And Djokovic has said once he loses, once if someone criticizes, he does remember it for long. So this should be something that Fokina also perhaps will be thinking. Oh my God, I defeated him. This guy would remember.
Joker's comments are fantastic. Whatever he says, Joker is much like in Ibrahimovic in football. The comments are, uh, he opens his mouth, he makes the headlines. So,
The
okay,
thing with
and
Djokovic is, see, thing with Djokovic is he's won obviously 22 Grand Slams, but if you look at the popularity charts, I'm not saying as an Nadal fan or something, but it's always like Federer won, Nadal too. The only time Nadal seemed to have something against him on a tennis court was when he played against Federer. It was always like 40-60. Others
mm,
completely in his support, completely in Federer's support. Djokovic somewhere down the line. So perhaps he doesn't exactly feel good about it because he's achieved a lot. On that basis, at least he thinks perhaps thinks I deserve a lot more fan following, but it doesn't have the same kind of fan following like
mm,
those.
exactly. Well, as you mentioned about upsets, so we hope the Indian shuttlers pull off some upsets today. Uh, so let's see, and we'll come back again tomorrow. It was lovely talking to you, Bharat. And for our viewers, keep watching social media handles and website for all the content that we put out. So thank you. We'll meet again tomorrow.